Hello, everyone, and welcome. Today, we're going to talk about happiness. Just explore together what is happiness and where it comes from, especially now, because now there's a sunshine, the spring is coming, and that makes lots of people happy after a long winter. And I will start with that little quote. Not sure where it comes from, but uh, the the happiness is that people that are not grateful soon begin to complain about everything, right? And probably have some of those people in our lives. And being grateful is beneficial. No, it's not to our happiness, because just being grateful, it brings people happier, right? Um, and it's been proven, lots of little studies have been done on gratefulness, that it improves mental health. So that's why so many therapists, psychologists, even myself, sometimes I give that little work to my clients, not very often, but once in a while, to write what they're grateful about, 3 or 5 things they're grateful about. That's all fine and dandy. But the thing is, it will come from the outside and not from inside. But at least it will improve, like I said, it improves mental health, because what it does is that it shifts our attention to what is negative towards what is positive. So at least there's one step in the right direction, because people are looking for happiness, and they search and they search and they search with never finding it, because they're looking outside themselves to find that happiness. And if they're not happy, because there's so much emphasis in our society about happiness, they find that they think they might be defective in some way or another, one shape or another. And if they have emotions also, that makes them defective in a way, because if they have emotions, that means they're not happy. And that's two different things. No, emotions, we're going to have emotions. That's the way it is. No, we might be very happy one minute and then angry another. And during the course of the day, it changes, because it's like the weather. No, it comes and go like the weather. And if we don't pay attention too much to those emotions, they'll go away, because it's not who we really are. It's just the weather of the moment. But to go back to happiness, now we see every day, probably you have them also in your mail, in your inbox, now the 10 tricks to be happy, or do those 5 things to be happy. It can't hurt. That's for sure. No. It cannot hurt, because being happy, now, like I said, it improves mental health, it improves your quality of life. So it cannot hurt. But it's hard to be happy when you go on a search like that. And let's say they will say, oh, get rid of your self-limiting beliefs. Well, self-limiting beliefs are only thoughts, and thoughts are lies. It's not the real truth about you. It's what you're thinking about yourself at the moment, but that's only thoughts. It's not who you really are. So if you don't take those self-limiting beliefs too seriously, well, there's nothing to work so much towards. That's what most people come to see me for. But if we don't take those self-limiting beliefs too seriously, we'll be happier. They will say also, don't dwell about the past. Well, the thing is, the past is over with. There's nothing we can do. And we've probably done the best we could at the moment that it happened. with the level of thinking we had, the level of consciousness we had, and we cannot redo the event. So there's no need to dwell about the past. They will say also, no need to complain. No, don't complain. Hell, that's a good advice no matter what, right? Because if we complain, we stay stuck in that negative feeling. You might feel good for a second or two, no, a minute or two, but beyond that, more you complain, the more you stay stuck in that negative feelings. You just feedback loop, but more negative thinking would be more negative feeling. You know, if you notice that when you complain, you just feel bad, and more of it, well, takes away of your happiness. So, but when we know that we can only go back, we know where our experience coming from. We know that it's come from our mind. And when we move back in the present moment, because in the present moment you're okay, in the present moment you're fine. And it brings back more contentment, peaceful, happiness. That's what we're looking at. We're looking for, because we live in the feeling of our thinking, not thinking like, oh yes, I have to think about my phone or think about what I will make for dinner or whatever. But I'm thinking more of the principle of thoughts. That is, as Michael Nell say, the Play-Doh of the way we create our reality. Maybe I'll talk about that in another video. But it's just something that comes in and out of ourselves all the time. So we live in that feeling of our thinking. And if we don't take our thinking seriously, we feel much better because we don't have to get into the content of our thinking. That's when the problem starts. But because we're going to think, that's the way human beings are made. And there was a little sentence that Mathieu Ricard, which is a monk, Buddhist monk, French Buddhist monk, said, "Authentic happiness is not linked to any activity. It is a state of being, a profound emotional balance, struck by a stable understanding of how the mind functions." And that's all it is. When we know where experience is coming from, we don't have to get caught up in that, because we use this power of thought to make ourselves unhappy. That's really what it is. We make ourselves unhappy, and then we lose faith. So, and then people try to look at all the 10 tools to make ourselves happy. They will try to make other people change too, so they feel happy. Drugs will they do that. But when we realize that it is something that is innate, that's something that we're born with, if it were not for the level of our thinking, well, we just let go and just come back to the now. We just let go, and in the now, you're okay. And the now, the present moment is where contentment and happiness is. So you don't need to be different. You're not broken. You don't have to search for it, to search for contentment, to search for peace, to search for happiness, because the beauty is that it's innate. You're born with it. And if you stop the search, be in the present moment and look within, you'll find that the happiness is already there. So maybe something to explore, and I'll see you then next week. Have a good day or a good week.